Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. This is your Manchester United Southampton preview. It's Tuesday night, 8:15 kick-off at Old Trafford. We haven't lost to Southampton in our last 9 meetings. The last time Southampton beat us was 5 years ago. They beat us 1-0 at Old Trafford. It was January 2016. Southampton have been in a bad vein of form recently. They have lost their last 3 league games. We drew with Southampton last season 2-2 at Old Trafford. We did beat them at St Mary's earlier on this season 3-2. We overcame a 2-goal deficit. Now, we must get back to winning ways. We are winless in our last 2 league games. We recently drew 0-0 with Arsenal. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gave his perception on that game. He said that we had the bigger chances to win the game, but he said it was a decent performance by Manchester United. Because obviously Edison Cavani had 2 big chances in the game against Arsenal. Should have converted at least one of them. Fred had a good opportunity that produced a good save from Leno. Bruno Fernandes, he had a good chance as well. Marcus Rashford, he carved a few openings in that first half. Every time Rashford got near goal, his decision making was poor, his passing was poor, and his finishing was poor. He has been a bit out of form recently as Marcus Rashford, and Wan-Bissaka also had a good chance in the game. But Arsenal had their chances as well. Willian had a good chance. Very good block from Wan-Bissaka. Pepe had a couple of chances. Lacazette, he hit the crossbar from the free kick. Smith Rowe had a good chance. Produced a fantastic save from David De Gea. So looking at it, you can say a draw was a fair result. Tom Waite obviously came off with a tummy bug. We have not beaten Arsenal in the league yet under Solskjaer. And Solskjaer has not yet beaten Mikel Arteta as Manchester United manager. And they've had 3 appearances now against each other. Obviously Arteta's won 2 and there's been a draw. And we lost to Sheffield United in midweek 2-1. That performance against Sheffield United was abysmal. It was Sheffield United's first win at Old Trafford since 1973. And it was just their second win this season. And it was Sheffield United's first Premier League away win of the season. But we have been very, very poor at home this season. I think we've lost like 5 games at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. We have set a new club record. Reflecting on that draw against Arsenal, we are unbeaten in our last 18 Premier League away games. We haven't lost away from home in the league for over a year. Southampton, though, will be a tough game. Ralph Hasenhüttl is their manager. I think he's done a pretty good job with Southampton, to be fair, so I'll give him credit for that. Southampton have got some good players in their team. They've obviously got Danny Ings. He's one of their key players. They've got Nathan Redmond. He's one of their key players. They've got Stuart Armstrong. He's one of their key players. They've got that Bednarek. he's one of their key players. You know, they've got that Che Adams. They've got Shane Long. They've got Theo Walcott. They've got James Ward-Prowse. Ryan Bertrand. I think he's a very, very good left back. Southampton have also got Kyle Walker-Peters. I think he's out with injury at the moment. They've got Vestergaard. He's out with injury. They've got that Obafemi as well, who I like. He's out with injury. They've got that Teller. He's out with injury. Salisu. He's out with injury. And Smallbone. He's out for the season. They've also got that Romeo. I think, has he just come back from injury? Southampton did knock Arsenal out of the FA Cup. No, they're beating them 1-0 the other week. Southampton have let quite a few players go in recent years. Don't forget they let Charlie Austin go. Let Mario Lemina go out on loan. Virgil van Dijk left them a few years ago to go to Liverpool. Dejan Lovren, they lost him. They lost Nathaniel Klein. They lost Adam Lallana. They lost Sadio Mane. Liverpool have done very, very good business with Southampton in recent years. So yeah, they have lost quite a few players. After Southampton, we have got Everton, and that's going to be another tough game for us. On my next video, I will be giving you my starting 11 prediction for this game. I think we'll probably go with a similar lineup to as we did do against Arsenal. Probably Solskjaer will make 1 or 2 changes. The title is fading away from Manchester United. You know, a lot of Man United fans are now saying that we're not going to win the title. A lot of people now believe that Manchester City are going to win the title. But I'd still say that we are in the title race. I'm definitely Ollie in still. Because obviously a couple of bad results are not going to change my perception on Solskjaer. I think he's made very, very good progress in the last year or so. And there has been no discussions yet over getting Solskjaer a new contract at the football club. I think Solskjaer's got 18 months left on his current contract. Solskjaer signed a 3-year contract when he got the job permanently in March 2019. Solskjaer has received a lot of criticism as Manchester United manager, especially earlier on in the season, reflecting how inconsistent we was. But I think we deserve credit for sticking with Solskjaer, because he could have easily have been sacked as Manchester United manager, because we have endured bad periods under him. This is Solskjaer's second full season as Manchester United manager. You know, he's been Man United manager now for over 2 years. We appointed Solskjaer in December 2018. He's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. And we give him the job permanently. Reflect on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. Reflecting now on Solskjaer's been at the club, I think he's gained some managerial experience and he has learned quite a bit on the job. Maybe there's still a few things he has got to learn. Man United is the third club in his managerial career because before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, and before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. We're going to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at least another season at the football club. You know, his job is still safe at the moment. Solskjaer knows how important it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy for just over 4 years. You know, Premier League is still a possibility, but I think it's unlikely now. The FA Cup's a chance of a trophy because we're into the 5th round of that. And the Europa League is a chance of a trophy. We'll win another title at some point. You know, maybe next season, maybe the next couple of seasons. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. But Solskjaer hasn't been cocky, has he? You know, he's been playing mind games in recent weeks and that, saying, you know, that we're not in the title race, and if we are still challenging in March, he'll start to believe that we are in the title race. I think for us to be genuine title contenders, we've obviously got to make some more signings. And we've got to start beating the big clubs. We're struggling against the top 6 sides in the Premier League. You know, that has been proven this season. You know, we've just recently drawn with Arsenal 0-0. We drew with City 0-0. We drew with Liverpool 0-0. We drew with Chelsea 0-0. You know, drew with Leicester 2-2. You know, lost to Tottenham 6-1. So, there you go. Solskjaer has just got to start getting his selections right persistently, because there's obviously some games where he showed tactical flexibility, but there's been a lot of games when he has been tactically naive. I still don't know if he is the long-term manager for Man United. But he does deserve credit. You know, we are still, second in the league. You know, he's got us to the FA Cup 5th round. We're the second most successful team in FA Cup history because we have won 12. You know, he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. Obviously lost that to Man City 2-0. Solskjaer did well last season in his first full season. Got us qualification for the Champions League. Got us 3rd, and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. And I think Solskjaer has made good signings since he got appointed in as Man United manager. He's spent over £200 million at the club. In the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January of last year, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odin Igalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of last year, he brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Pellistri and Amad Diallo Traore. He's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood. There's still some deadwood at the club. A few players have left Man United recently. Obviously, we saw Jesse Lingard go out on loan to West Ham. West Ham paid a loan fee of £1.5 million. West Ham are obviously covering Jesse Lingard's wages. Obviously, we saw Timothy Fosu-Mensah leave the club earlier on this month. He went to join Bayer Leverkusen. Facundo Pellistri, he's been loaned out. It said that Marcus Rojo is set to leave. Last time I read up, it said he was on the verge of joining Boca Juniors. We've obviously seen players leave in previous transfer windows as well. We've obviously loaned quite a few players out. We've seen players like Young leave the club, Valencia leave the club, Darmian leave the club, Smalling leave the club. Fellaini left in January 2019. We've seen Herrera, Lukaku and Sanchez leave the club. Also too, Angel Gomez left the club. Solskjaer is inheriting players from other managerial eras. The vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. Solskjaer knew when he got appointed in as Man United manager, he had lots to do. He knew that the job was going to be massive, despite him knowing the culture of the club. He knew he had to come in and make Man United consistent again, and he has done to his credit. He knew he had to come in and make the right signings. Obviously, he hasn't got all the signings that he wanted in though. That's disappointing in that aspect. He knew he had to come in and get rid of a lot of the deadwood. To his credit, he has done that. So yeah. Solskjaer has been let down in the transfer market yet again. This January transfer window has been Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. Solskjaer did say though recently that we're not expecting any signings before this transfer window closes. There has been a lot of players on our agenda. Woodward promised that he will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's come out to show his support for Solskjaer several times, and he did say towards the end of last year he'll back Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. And even when we was enjoying them bad periods under Ole, Woodward came out and assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe. But, you know, the board has been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also overpaid for players, and none of the managers have been backed enough since Ferguson retired. Woodward needs to back Solskjaer in the summer transfer window. I think it said that we are looking to make around 4 signings this year to complete our squad overhaul. And I've given you the 3 areas where Manchester United need to strengthen up. I think we need a striker, we need a world-class midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. But in this January transfer window, we have been focusing a lot more on the outgoings rather than the incomings. Earlier on today, I give you the breaking news on Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos wants to join Manchester United and is prepared to leave Real Madrid in the summer. He is going to be available on a free transfer because Sergio Ramos recently rejected a new 2-year deal from Real Madrid. Real Madrid asked him about a 10% pay cut. PSG were the favourites to get Ramos, but Ramos doesn't fancy a move to PSG. The Real Madrid president, Florentino Perez, actually urged Ramos to go to PSG. Ramos has been a long-serving player at Real Madrid. You know, he's been there around 16 years now. He's made over 600 appearances in all competitions. You know, he's won 22 major honours with them. Real Madrid paid €27 million for him from Sevilla back in 2005. He's 34 though, Sergio Ramos, but I think he'd complement Harry Maguire in our back line really, really well. You know the news on Jules Koundé from Sevilla? Apparently, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified him as his #1 target for the summer. It also mentions that Juventus, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid have been interested in him. Jules Koundé plays as a defender for Sevilla. He's valued at £60 million. He's got a contract with Sevilla till 2024. Sevilla paid £22 million for him from Bordeaux around 18 months ago. There's still narratives coming out about Ousmane Dembele. It says that Man United will attempt to sign Ousmane Dembele if we fail to sign Sancho again. According to recent reports though, Ousmane Dembele wants to stay at Barcelona and he's open to signing a new deal. It wasn't so long ago it said that contract talks had stalled. My element of concern about Ousmane Dembele is that he is injury prone. Sustained a few injuries at Barcelona. He's been at Barcelona a few years. Barcelona got him in a deal worth £135 million from Dortmund back in 2017. He's got a contract with Barcelona until 2022. Liverpool have also been interested in him. So you know the news on the transfers. There's a lot of players that we are going to keep at the football club, like I've already gone through with you. We will keep Marcus Rashford. I think he's the foreseeable future for the club. Like I said earlier, Rashford has been a bit out of form recently. But I think he's still a very, very good player. Marcus Rashford's been part of the club for several years. He's been a United player since the age of 7 and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. You know, he can play out wide and he can play centrally, but I think he's more effective out wide. He's just recently been racially abused on social media. He had a knee injury as well not so long ago. We'll also keep Edinson Cavani. Cavani has made a fantastic impact at Man United. We got Cavani on deadline day last summer on a free. You know, he signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option of a second year. And obviously he wears that number 7 shirt. He'll see out his contract at Man United, will Cavani. Anthony Martial now, I think we'll keep him for at least this season, maybe the next couple of seasons. He's been criticised a lot though recently because Martial has been out of form this season. Solskjaer recently given advice to Martial over improving his form. Martial can play out wide and he can play centrally. A lot last season he was playing centrally. Don't forget Solskjaer was the one that gave Martial that number 9 shirt. But yeah, like I say, it was good last season. He was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. Martial's been at the club now for over 5 years. We'll keep Mason Greenwood. I think Mason Greenwood is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. Mason Greenwood hasn't played as much though as I expected this season. Earlier on in the season he had injury at one point, he had personal issues and at one point he was out with illness. Solskjaer's been defending Mason Greenwood a lot though this season. And at the start of this season we give him that number 11 shirt. Bruno Fernandes, will obviously keep him. Bruno Fernandes has been at Man United now a year. He's our best player and he's the best signing we have made since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. In most of his games at Man United, he has been very, very consistent, but there's been a few games where he has looked off the pace. He weren't great against Arsenal recently. But he won Player of the Month for December. He's won that now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. And Fernandes recently denied that he needs a rest. We'll keep Donny van de Beek for now. Could go though in the summer. It said earlier on this window from ESPN that we rejected several loan offers for Donny van de Beek. We're blocking him from leaving in this window. Don't forget Solskjaer made an admission prior to the game against Liverpool in the FA Cup. And he said that Donny van de Beek is unhappy at Man United because of his lack of game time. But he admitted that, sorry. But he's promised Donny van de Beek more game time at Manchester United. Again, didn't play any part against Arsenal. Donny van de Beek seldom starts in the league. He's only started 2 games in the league for us. So most of his appearances come from the bench. We got him in a deal worth £40 million, paid £35 million up front, and there was £5 million in add-ons. And he can play in 3 different roles, like I've already gone through with you. We'll also keep Fred, because Fred's really improved under Solskjaer. He's showing good attacking intent. He's passing the ball well. He's breaking up the play well. I just think the thing he needs to work on is the reading of his game, because that's what's letting him down. Fred's been at the club now for a few years. We got him in a deal worth £52 million from Shakhtar Donetsk, didn't we? Paul Pogba. I think there's a chance he could stay at Man United potentially past the summer. Paul Pogba weren't great against Arsenal and he weren't that good against Sheffield United, but disregarding them games, his performances have been good since he came back from that ankle injury. He did recently say that Paul Pogba is considering making a U-turn at the club. That means staying at Man United. And he said that he contradicted Mino Raiola for the second time. His future is on hold till the end of the season, but he could sign a new long-term contract at the club. You know, Fabrizio Romano, don't forget, said that Paul Pogba's transfer away from Man United is still on the cards because Mino Raiola's been planning a summer move for Paul Pogba. We'll also keep Luke Shaw because Luke Shaw's really improving as a Man United player defensively. He's been superb. He's getting forward well. He's creating some chances for his teammates. He's getting in good positions. He's putting good crosses into the box, which is good to see. Luke Shaw again yesterday against Arsenal played well. Alex Telles, we'll keep him. You know, we got Alex Telles last summer. He hasn't played as much as I expected him to though, but in some of the games he's played and he's done quite well. Don't forget at one point Telles had COVID. But despite Telles coming in, Luke Shaw still remains our first choice left back. The element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone. Harry Maguire, we'll keep him. He's done well in some games this season. He's also had some bad games as well. In the game against Arsenal, I thought he gave away a couple of needless fouls and now he's on 5 yellow cards, is Harry Maguire. Certainly wasn't worth the £80 million that we got him for. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment. Eric Bailly will keep him despite him being injury prone because he's played very well since he started playing again. And Wan-Bissaka will also keep him because aspects of his game are improving. Now, against Arsenal yesterday, he was getting forward a bit more. Again, defensively superb. Like I mentioned, had a good chance in the game. De Gea will keep him for now, and De Gea is going to remain our number 1 for at least this season. There's been games this season where he's done quite well, and there's been signs where you can say, yeah, he's slowly getting back to his best. This is his 10th season at Man United, so he has been a long servant. De Gea has made over 500 appearances in all competitions. And we'll keep Dean Henderson, because at some point Dean Henderson will become our number 1. Henderson's done well in the games he has played in this season. So yeah, we have got a good squad. Certainly we've got a good enough squad to finish in the top 4 at least. You know the news on Amad Diallo. Traore made his debut yesterday for the under-23s, scored twice. That was against Liverpool. I don't think it will be too long now before we see Amad Diallo Traore in the first team. So yeah. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.